everyone. Today we will watch a Kazakhstan's movie together. Queen Tomiris is based on a true historical story. Once upon a time, the 6th century BC, in the immense steppe of the Central Asian, in the camp of the Masajtes tribe, there is a heart-rending voice of a woman. The witch is praying by the fire. This is a special etiquette in the steppe, praying for the line of descent of the chieftain, praying for a hero's birth of the steppe. The desperate scream finally stops. The woman is haggard, looks the Hussein's return. Her eyes are flooded with happiness and regret. Regrettably, she gave birth to a daughter. She knows that he prefers a son. Have no relation to sentiment. Just because they were born in the steppe. The husband, the chieftain, contemplatively looks at his wife. Her breath is getting weaker. His face is full of anxiety, even though he has witnessed uncountable life and death. In this middle age, his wife's death still leaves him the unbearable pain. The newborn child is crying constantly. The birth of the little girl has ended the mother's life. Life conversion, the succession of life at this moment. Obviously a bit of pity. The mother gave her a name, called Tomiris. The newly born girl has to witness the end of life. The girl hasn't suffered the brutality of the steppe, but the unintentionalness of the years has already been clear. In spite of chieftain's remarriage, he has always loved Tomiris the most. Although she lost her mother, she has double the love of her father. Tomiris is not alone. She grows up healthily with the attentive care of the chieftain. He teaches his daughter how to ride a horse in person, archery, attack and defense. Although Tomiris pretends to get hurt in order to re-attack her farther, he is delighted. The father tells his daughter, the warriors of the steppe are not only brave and undauntable, but also must have special wisdom. That is the way of becoming a legendary warrior. The sunny and windy years elapsed in the steppe. Tomiris also gradually matured. The chieftain is familiar with the law of the steppe. He also obeyed tribal rules. Hunting and looting is how they survive. But Kavaz and Kurtan in the tribe are a bit dissatisfied. They wish to ally with the Wamu. They got what they want through exchange. It will be more easier and safer. But the chieftain makes fun of them at the dinner party, without noticing the hatred in their eyes. A winged black lion appeared in Tomiris's dream. The little girl wakes up and she cannot find her father. She hurriedly seeks him everywhere. The chieftain hears his daughter's nightmare, then hugs her tightly, and tries to soothe. But a group of people from the tribe which is under the leadership of Kavaz, has raided inside the chieftain's tent. The chieftain quickly draws his sword to fight back. Tomiris isn't afraid at all. She stabs the enemies immediately, but they do not take any precaution, so it is impossible to fight the rebels, who have been prepared for a long time. The only way chieftain can do is let a person that he trusts brings his daughter to leave with the others. Tomiris miserably watches her father stay in the bloody battle. The enemy seizes the opportunity to stab him to death. Tomiris and her entourage go to a desert forest. To avoid being hunted down, they could only stay here and wait for their time. Her father's death does not defeat the little Tomiris. She becomes more and more resilient. If formerly she was like a young eagle, then now she has become a true warrior. Tomiris tries to practice her fighting skills. Her peers are not able to be her opponents. She is like a cloud which is more and more brilliant with the color of the sunshine. The arrows that Tomiris shoots out became more and more correctly. The grass in the field gradually changes from green to yellow. She begins to be sick of this old forest. She cannot forget the grudge of killing her father. She yearns for the day to return home. Finally Tomiris has exploded. She is about to leave, but the person her father trusted doesn't want to let her go. He knows he can't stop her. Tomiris lonely remembers of her father with a slightly restless heart. She falls asleep in nostalgia. Then she sees the scene of the dream when she was a child. A lion with wings. Feeling something bad, Tomiris hurriedly go back to the forest. At this time the corpse was lying paralyzed. After Tomiris had left, everyone was raided by the rebels. Tomiris follows the trail of the rebels, hurriedly chasing after them. After many years of arduous training, Tomiris has taken out all the enemies, but she also suffers serious injuries. It is very difficult to climb on horseback and then passing out. Life has always been so tough. Despite trying so hard, it still does not seem enough. Perhaps the only thing that can be done is hope that the next day will not be as difficult as today. Tomiris wakes up to figure out that she are of to the Savalo tribe. The saver is Sardana, daughter of the chieftain. This tribe's leader is also her father's friend. After realizing that she is an old acquaintance, he lets her stay. Tomiris finally gets a place to stay. Losing both father and mother, also witnessed the departure of the whole tribe. She has crossed the line between life and death by her own. Tomiris recalls what her father used to say, a true warrior has bravery, power, must be wisdom besides. The parent's sacrifice is to create what her life is today. Her existence must then has a greater meaning than that. Tomiris figures out the path she has to go. She begins to approach more elite warriors. The Savalo tribe attaches great importance to fighting. A woman only reaches the top 3 levels. That is considered as the condition to get married. The more kills you archive, the better chances of getting married you have. This is absolutely suits Tomiris. She lives in the tribe, fighting, training, studying. Tomiris is sympathized with by the whole tribe. She even swears brotherhood to Sardana. They become sister of each other. The chief has a new bloodline. He opened a banquet to thank God for the grace. Kavaz and Curtin also presents there. They don't come to celebrate with the chieftain. It turns out to intimidate the chieftain, compelling him to give up the hunting life. People like Kavaz and Curtin are used to be Huamo's puppets. But how can the warriors of the steppe who venerate the freedom can accept their requirement? In the end, they came here as guests then leaving as the enemies. The scene of father's death recalls to Tomiris's mind. She stares at the 2 guys with hatreds. She desires to rush to avenge immediately for her father. But her reason has restrained her instinct. Tomiris now is no longer that innocent child. She knows she has to wait for the appropriate opportunity to be able to retrieve what belongs to father and herself. Sardana can feel the wrath of Tomiris. To make her relaxed a little more, Sardana takes Tomiris to see Argun's performance. Young people like to use force to express themselves. The heroes on the steppe have the same thought. Argun is the son of Chieftain Dahaizu. He was playing wrestling with other people on the sandy ground. His powerful strength has caught Tomiris's eyes. Maybe it's because the angry fire hasn't cooled down yet. Or maybe she does not want to let Argun shine on his own. Tomiris picks up her bow and arrow, demonstrating a beautiful and accurate archery. Argun exclaims in surprise. He has never ever met such a beautiful and talented girl like this before. In order to respond to the Kavaz's onslaught, the chieftain intends to enlist before Huamozi's aid arrives while actively fights against Kavaz. Tomiris also intends to make use of this opportunity to return to her original tribe. 2 cavalry teams look at each other from afar. Tomiris sits on the saddle, heading forward alone. In the name of revenge for her father, she says a challenge to Kavaz and Curtin. Hearing the chieftain's bloodline, everyone in the tribe suddenly riots. To calm the chaos down, Kavaz and Curtin ride forward intending to finish Tomiris off, because she dares to say such wild words. But the 2 of them just enjoy playing without training, so the instinct for hunting was gone for a long while ago. In a blink of an eye, Tomiris killed them. The strong are also respected by everyone, let alone the daughter of the chief. The rest of the tribe shows loyalty to Tomiris. Welcome her back to the tribe. After years of separation, Tomiris finally returns to the tribe. Meet the previous father's throne. Memories rushes back, that brings her a little sad feeling. Unfortunately, the reality does not allow her to rest. Huamozi's army is about to catch up with. Tomiris presents her plan, that arranging a group of attackers in order to attract the enemy's attention, then pretend to run away. When the enemy formation disperses to pursue, the cavalry will always be ready to attack them from both sides. As long as they enter, they will be defeated. Battles on the steppe always go in a straight direction. This new way of fighting that Tomiris has come up with seems odd. Going to war, Tomiris fights as the leading pawn, surrounding the enemy's outer ring. Successful combat strategy. Just one unintentional thing happens. Because of uncontrollable affection, Argun confesses his feelings to her right in the battle. Tomiris carries the responsibility of bloody revenge. Previously, that makes her does not dare to think about romance. But now she finally got her revenge. The person her love also confessed his feelings to her right in the battle. Tomiris has no intention of refusing, she also does not want to. After putting an end to the fight, they celebrate their wedding together. Tomiris also allies closely with Sardana and people of other tribes. Tomiris on the battlefield is outstandingly brave and intelligent, become the crownless queen of this steppe. Besides the steppe, the reputation of Cyrus, king of Persia, spreads everywhere. Out of this steppe he can only be considered as conquering half the world. Cyrus sends envoys to the Kazakh tribe to mingle, align to become coalitions, but Tomiris can feel something threatening. Persia is such a powerful country, it supposes that they do not need this friendship, but Argun really wants to get along with. He looks at the prosperous Babylonian land, it urges him to bring his people a better future. Argun decides to see Cyrus. Before saying goodbye to Tomiris, Argun leave her blessings, praying for her bright future and peaceful night. But Tomiris dreamt about the weird lion again. It is a bad omen, she wakes up startlingly. Argun is dead in Cyrus' palace. When she sees her husband's body, Tomiris could not hide her world of pain. But she is the leader of the tribe. She could not show her weakness. All she can do is hiding in an invisible corner and crying out loud in pain. Cyrus is fed up with the kinds of tasteless negotiations, so he decides to lead his own troops to the battlefield, plundering the steppe. Cyrus knows clearly how fast the nomads fights. He brings a full packaged army, intending to use his power to crush the tribes that are not good at attacking. This time, that lion once again appeared in Tomiris's dream, but she was not afraid anymore. She pulled out the dagger to kill the lion, put an end to the dream that has lasted for many years. Tomiris has been suffered a lot of blood, so the death is no longer a fear to her. The children of the steppe will die gloriously only. They never become slaves. For their own steppe's freedom, Tomiris joins efforts together with all other tribes, determined to fight against Cyrus till the end. Tomiris knows her abilities and the enemy are inferior. The steppe cannot bear the waste. There is also no chance to have a direct hit. She decides to assemble 100 of the most elite warriors of the steppe, taking advantage of tactics to mess up the enemy's fighting squad. Then let 100 warriors burst into the enemy's lines, directly kills Cyrus. On the battlefield, golden sand is billowing in the sky. Tomiris alone leads a horse and lunges at the enemy. The vast steppe is now submerged in unquotable arrows. Tomiris's plan has been successful. The enemy's attack speed is indirectly affected. But the immortal army of the Persian Empire is extremely powerful. Even being put at a disadvantage, they still prevent 100 brave warriors. Sardana, the sister Tomiris loved most, had fallen to this ground. The children of the steppe are not afraid of bleeding. Their heroic sacrifice will be inscribed by the next generation, no matter what. In Tomiris's painful gaze there is no wobble. This is the rule of the steppe. In the end, Cyrus is also killed. With the efforts of Tomiris, the steppe has defeated one who wants to conquer it. Defeat an entire kingdom. Tomiris and the races continue to live in freedom. Cross the steppe. Life as always has its own justice. Try and you will have results as expected. The fate of each person is also not the same. Churchill said that suffering is an abyss for the weak, but for the strong it is just a stone underfoot. I am not praising the arduousness. It just because everyone has to endure hardships. There are always bad things that unexpected. But everyone is the same. Resentment and sadness cannot eliminate hardship. Just emitting dissatisfaction inside. When we look around, we still face it alone. Tackle own by ourselves. Suffering is the misery of people at the present. Bowing is just like pleading with others. It's like anesthesia yourself. Only win a victory and go beyond. Overcoming hardship, bravely move forward. Then all the suffering will turn into the precious possessions. It's time.